Hey guys, Footy Focus Podcast, episode 16. So round.
Yeah, hey guys, it's a weird one because we're halfway through round 15, I think. So
Yeah,
couple of games to finish off the round, and then I think all teams bar two have played 15 games, so we'll each
yeah,
have two games.
yeah. So we'll head straight into the Footy Focus Podcast Cup.
Yeah, it's
So,
all
so I think we're still so Port won by 36 points, but I think overall, if we're doing the international rule system, I think North's still up by 9 goals.
yeah. So okay, so we'll still give the cup to you guys, but okay, we're gonna do percentages, and we're still doing well. It might take a few games for you guys to catch up, or maybe actually.
Yeah, maybe a few years. So I think it wasn't a fourth quarter performance by Port again. I thought the Roos started off pretty strongly. Like Goldstein kicked that goal from outside 50, and I don't think we had a mark for the first maybe 4 to 5 minutes. So North were on top, probably didn't take advantage of opportunities. Out of Port's 11 goals, 10 of them were scored in the first and fourth quarters. Third quarter was 6 goals to 2, so that probably broke the game wide open. I thought the start of the night was efficiency inside 450, so Port was 61% and North was 37%. Thought heading into it, probably Goldstein probably had the advantage over Lysette, but yeah, Port won clearances plus 15 and centre clearances was plus 12, which I thought was a surprise because we played Dixon and Marshall as that second ruck as well.
Yeah, and I think after Simpkin went out, I think it really made us weak in the middle, especially with Zeeble, Underdone, Cunnington not there. So, yeah, we got smashed in the clearances, like you said, and guys like Boak and Wines were just too big, too strong, I suppose. How did you feel like in terms of your form? Did you feel like you're sort of starting to click a bit more?
Yeah, it's still like I think since the Cats win, we've probably played 3 teams in the bottom 8. I would have thought at least one of those would be a percentage booster, but I don't think we've been impressive in all 3. Look at like in the Lions too. The Lions aren't really going impressively at the moment, so I think it's probably really the Cats and the Tigers that are probably the 2 clear-cut favourites at the moment.
Yeah, even this game, like I got heading into it, I wasn't that confident, but I thought we would be competitive. But 36 points, what's that, like a goal and a half a quarter? I think that's I think that makes us seem like we were competitive and didn't let you guys kick too many goals, except that burst in the third quarter. I think you guys kicked 5 or 6 goals in quick time.
Yeah. There's a couple of back goals too, so that probably buffered the score a little bit. What do you think of the Simpkin? While we're on Simpkin, what do you think of the Butters hits? He's obviously got 2 weeks and accepted that.
Yeah, I think something happened to the telecast when that happened. Did that happen to you? How it changed?
Yeah, I was watching the Fox Footy first. It went to it was just blank. It was just blank.
Yeah.
3 or 4
so
seconds.
I think that happened during that time because I didn't see it live and then saw the replay. I thought, I mean, it's just a rule now. Yeah, if you choose to bump and not tackle and you hit him in the head and they get concussed, it's almost automatic. So I think, he'd had to happen. Like there was no sort of, he didn't mean to get him in the face. I think he was just going for the shoulder. But I mean, there's nothing malicious about it. So, and I think I was just surprised Simpkins stayed on. Like he stayed on for another minute or 2 and then got off.
Yeah,
then
they ruled him out. That's probably something we got to fix going forward because I think the trainers are trying to take him off and they brought him off maybe someone was having a set shorter, there was a stoppage. At that stage, like the player obviously wants to stay on, you've got to bring him off straight away because in that other minute, if he got hit again, what happens?
Yeah, you could imagine like that happening in a game in the future, and then it'll be a hot issue. So I think, if they were looking for a break in the play, I'm not sure. Maybe there was one. I'd have to go back and check. But he had to come off as soon as he went down because it didn't look good.
Yeah, and they didn't run him through the whole thing. Asking him questions and just ruled him out straight away. They didn't even give him the proper test. He was obviously
vision.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. 2 weeks. Sorry. So yeah, he's probably lucky that didn't happen. Yeah, a week later because he would have missed first week of finals too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was always going to get to. I'm just wondering if the tribunal wouldn't have twisted the rules and say it was only 1 week until finals. If they given him 1 week so he could play finals, I don't know. But I guess different discussion.
Yeah. So when Simpson went out, who do you think stood up for the Roos?
After he went out, after that, I think Jed Anderson probably because he was that inside mid, but like Davies Uniacke is probably the other guy because I think he had his best game for North, as well as that dash and classy X factor. He provides more. He had 16 contested possessions, which was a game high. Was it? Yeah, I think it was a game high.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah, and that was impressive. So if he can, I think he's slowly starting to find confidence, and he had a good preseason. It was just before the season started he got injured. So I think after another preseason, I think he might be good to go for next year. And it's one of the silver linings, I suppose, without Cunnington there, because otherwise Cunnington would be in the midfield like 80% of the time. But yeah, Davies Uniacke got 85% game time this week. I think that's a record for him. So happy with that.
Yeah, and you got coaches votes too, so he was clearly your best player, probably as well.
Pretty good to get because you guys had a lot of good players, so it's good to sneak in there. I thought our general skills let us down throughout the game, and just some decision making, which comes down to experience and the players not knowing each other. Like, what's that word when they don't
connection?
Yeah, lack of connection, and you guys have played. All your players have played a lot of footy together, whereas we've introduced guys like Bailey Scott and Hosey and Flynn Perez played his first game. So I think it might take maybe another 20, 30 games until they find that connection.
There's a few set shots that you missed that were pretty easy as well, which could have maybe changed the momentum a little bit.
Yeah, like you said, we did start pretty well, and we had most of the play probably, and then Dumont missed a sort of a gettable shot directly in front. A few directly in front misses. Like there was like 35-40 out, but I think normally players should be able to kick those goals. I think Dixon missed one as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Zeeble and Mason Wood, I thought they missed a couple as well, and as you said, directly in front. There's no excuse for an AFL player not to kick them.
Yeah. And the other thing I want to quickly mention is this is the consistency with umpiring. I know we try to avoid this, but one decision really annoyed me.
Yeah.
Rosie tackles Zeeble over the line. I think Rosie tackled him after Simpkin sort of evaded him and tried to take him on, and then he just stepped over the line. Which I'm happy that that action isn't always paid. Holding the ball, it's like 95% of the time is they just say to throw it in, but if they were going to adjudicate all decisions, all that action like holding the ball, I'm happy with that because Simpkin did have a chance to get rid of it before he got tackled, and it was the tackle that pushed him over. So
I agree.
It's not always rewarded holding the ball, and the same thing happened like in a court, like the next quarter, and Rosie was the guy who was getting tackled by Ed Vickers-Villas, and the umpire just had to throw it in. So it was a consistency. That's so annoying. Like, but did you see? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, I agree too. I think, Mike. Yeah, I yelled out. I think that's a free. He's lucky there. So, I agree. I agree with it.
Yeah, they're both frees, or they both just throw it in. So if it's easier for the umpires just say throw it in, just throw it in there.
Yeah, I think not to give them an excuse, but they're obviously not training like as they normally do. So you get this. I think every game we've had this year, there's been inconsistency throughout the game. It's not an excuse, but you'd like to think if they set a standard with that first decision, you continue it the whole game through, and that shouldn't be too hard to do.
Yeah, and the holding the ball, that rule keeps coming up. And I think I was listening to a podcast earlier, the Broco one, and Liam Shields from Hawthorn. I think
Yeah.
there was some non-decisions, and Liam Shields just yelled out to the umpire to say, "Pay holding the ball." Like the umpires are just letting it go, and yes, it's really annoying. If it's there, just pay it. Like they were doing a better job like maybe a month ago. Do you have any positives to come out of the game other than sort of Boak and Wines? They've been pretty consistent last
Yeah,
month.
I thought those two, I thought one, I think both got the 10 coaches votes, but I thought one was best on ground with the 2 goals. Always like when midfielders kick goals. Lysette was probably really good too. He's, I probably said before a few weeks ago that him and Laddams couldn't fit in the same side, but I think Lysette can't be dropped now because he's played pretty well, probably 3-4 weeks in a row, and I think Laddams will come in and, we left out Ebert and Westhoff, so it's still the best 22 is undecided as well. And I think the back half was pretty solid. I didn't see as many transition goals from the Roos as well. Maybe they're a bottom four side, but I think that's something we really got to work on and tighten up before finals as well.
Yeah, and you did that pretty well because Burton got injured again and he was off in the first quarter or so, I think. So
Yeah,
who for him?
I don't think you can play him come finals even if he's back. Because if you're down a player early on, it might cost you a match. So I think you got to just wipe the slate clean with him for next year and just get him a full preseason.
Yeah, and I thought Coleman-Jones was good again for you guys. Gives you good run.
Yeah, I think he's getting some more media attention these days because he's fairly consistent. Had a bad game against the Cats, but apart from that, he's been pretty good. And how'd you find the McKay and Dixon matchup?
I was happy Shaw gave Mackay the task because Dixon's probably the strongest forward in the game, like in terms of strength. And I think he held his own and he did pretty well. I think Dixon only took 2 marks. I think his first goal came from a free kick. But I think Mackay was able to get his fist in and spoil the ball and do all the basics. I think he's developing pretty well. Obviously, his brother's got most of the attention and star factor. But if Mackay can continue to do what he's been doing, then I think he'll just get better and better. How did you find that? Did you want a couple more?
He reminds me a little bit of Dougal Howard. Like he's got Ruckman height. I think he's 199 or 198 centimeters. And he's not slow by any stretch. So obviously he's got good closing speed. He's got the width span to spoil and make an impact. So I think you probably found a player there, and that's one of the positives you can take heading towards next season. It's good Shaw gave him the responsibility because you could have easily given it to Tarrant.
We needed one of him or Durden to stand up and deliver because they were both late first round draft picks. So, happy he did that. Like I said before, Perez played his first game in over a year. He had 9 touches and he showed a bit. He got I think he tried to tackle Dixon and Dixon was like pushing him to the ground. So
he ragged him a little bit. Perez looked really smooth as well, really composed with the footy. So. Definitely a keeper. Looks like anyway. Yeah,
and finally, Luke McDonald had another decent game, so he continues to be consistent. And I think Robbie Tarrant was also pretty good because the ball was in defense quite a bit.
Yeah.
Did you have any negatives other than the Burton injury? I thought your team was a pretty even performance.
Yeah, there are a few turnovers in the back half. Just lazy football. Like Mackenzie had one. I think Hartlett had a few. So it's got to tighten those up too because you can't afford to do them.
Yeah. What do you think of? We keep mentioning this guy sort of every time ball plays. What? How do you reckon Stephen Motlop played?
Yeah, I was going to mention it too. He started off really well, like had a hold in the ball and kicked that set shot, and that's what he's in the team for, just to finish. Probably had one which should have been paid as well, but apart from that, he was pretty quiet. Like I still see him playing in the team just for that bit of class. Like I think it's probably down to him or like Kane Farrell. And like you got Sutcliffe in there too. He's not really having much of an impact as well, and he's not being a tagger. So he's a bit of a favourite of Hinkley, so I think he'll play. But he was pretty quiet. But You're playing him
Yeah,
for those impact moments, so you're not playing him for a 20 possession, 4 goal.
yeah, but I think he still needs to impact a bit more. If he had like a more genuine small forward, that would be ideal. So then Rosie and Gray can play sort of half forward. Uh, yeah. Otherwise, yeah, for us, I think the negatives maybe Larky just he couldn't grab onto a couple of marks. Yeah. So without Brown, he might be maybe just in a little bit of a form slump. Because he did get his hands to him, like you said. Um, but yeah, I think it's sort of a confidence thing. He did take a nice one hander,
Yeah, I would
Uh,
think so. You probably, yeah, you probably could 3 or 4 on another day.
yeah. So yeah, Brown's not back this year, so maybe if Josh Walker, that's why Walker's playing forward to take some of the heat, and I think Walker was okay as well. We've got another look at Lockie Hosey. Yeah, I'm not too sure if he's up to it. He dropped a chest mark, and so he tries hard, but he just might not be AFL standard. And I think Mason Wood and Marley Williams, I think they're looking more likely to be delisted. And yeah, during the game, I thought Joe Atley had more of an impact than Sean. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't know how Sean went in the practice match against the Roos, but yeah, he had one passage of play out there where he took a guy on heading into the 450, but yeah, didn't notice him apart from that.
Yeah, that was like in the last quarter. He took Dixon on and I think
That's
kicked it to Walker. But other than that, yeah, he's just non-existent. He's played 210 games or something, but he's contracted for the next year. But we need more. I can't believe he's played 200 games. Anyway, do you guys have any changes for next week? Maybe quickly.
Yeah, Ladhams comes back in. Interesting to see if Westhoff and Ebert get a go. I think Sutcliffe might come out, but I'm not sure who's going to come in for him. I think Bonner's probably not our best 22, so that's probably the only change. Ladhams in for, not sure really.
You need two changes minimum, like Burton and Butters.
Yeah, I think because the issue is I think Woodcock might come in for Butters, but I can't see him playing in finals. So players that come in, like Bonner might come in for Burton. So it's probably Bonner and Ladhams. I think they're probably the two that it's safe.
Yeah, you might rest a couple of players, maybe. Maybe Sam Pepper, I reckon, could need a rest. What's next?
You want to stop it there?
Oh, yeah. Just quickly, okay, so for North, I think Simpkin might need a break. I'll bring Bonner in for Simpkin, and yeah, depending on if Shaw has seen enough of Wood and Williams, maybe give Majak a couple of games, because I think Majak might be borderline into if we retain him or not. So you were saying Majak might keep his spot in the team?
Yeah, I'm surprised he said he might not get a crack next year because I think as that intercept third tall and backup ruck, I think he still has probably a role to play.
Yeah, maybe they'll give him 1 year, but I don't know. It depends how he is sort of in his personal life and how his body's gonna hold up. Because yeah, it's unfortunate what happened to him, like what he's been through. It's good to have him back, um, but the list management team needs to manage the list, right? So
Yeah, and I think Josh Walker triggered another year as well, so maybe you don't want to carry both of them on the list.
yeah, reports are saying Aiden Core might be now. He might be a target free agent.
Yeah.
Did you want to move on to some hot topic?
Yeah, so I'll ask you about should there be a crackdown on handballing?
I think they've got to get a little bit more stricter because there's a lot of quick hands. Like players are pretty skillful these days, so sometimes I think the umpires just give them the benefit of the doubt. But if it looks like a throw, and umpires just got to blow the whistle and pay it. Like because there was Rosie did one, game. I think it happen all the time. Like Bulldogs games, I think half their hand passes are throws. So yeah, I wouldn't mind a little bit of a crackdown. So it's not a throw. So
yeah, no, I agree.
what about earlier last week? When was it? Like Thursday last week when Stack and they got into a bit of a fight in front of a strip club near the police on the Gold.
Yeah, so I'm not too sure if they instigated the fight, but that's probably not the point. The fact is they left the hub and went to a strip. Oh, maybe not went to a strip club, but had a kebab. Like they're not allowed out.
So the first rule is they went out of the hub.
Yeah.
Then they got into an altercation or whatever, so they weren't allowed outside. They're only allowed to be in the resort. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're part of the actual Tigers team hub because they're not in that. I think the playing squad at the moment. But yeah, they definitely broke the rules. I thought the 10-game ban was maybe 10 game is a bit harsh, but there's just no way the players would pay the fine. I think the Tigers put out a statement saying the players would pay it, but Cochin paying a fine and volunteering to do so is a bit different to a rookie in stack, and I think Coleman-Jones is a rookie as well, maybe. Giving up a third of their salary or half of it to pay a fine. So just very interesting to see if it has an effect on the Tigers because they're obviously chasing a third flag in 4 years. So hasn't affected them to date, but maybe this is the one that tips it over the edge. Yeah,
potentially. They're not in the best 22, so I think it's unlikely it might have an effect. Like Stack was borderline. Coleman-Jones, I don't think was in the conversation for the best 22. Do you think the 10-game ban is fair? Do you reckon if this was one of their starting 22 players, like say Jaden Short or another one of those mid-tier players, would they have gotten a ban like this?
Yeah, it's difficult. I'd probably say no, because 10 games is 3 games left this season, including last week, plus 7 rounds. So they're available for round 8 next year. It might cost these guys their careers. They've made a huge mistake, but if the list sizes get cut down, like I don't reckon both of them will be in the list next season. You couldn't say.
Yeah, who knows? Can't compare if same punishment applies to like the Stars, but I'm sure that their culture is good enough for them to bounce back. I'll ask you if the Lions can win the flag without Harris Andews, who went down with a hamstring.
Yeah, so we've had this with, I think, Rancid, Richmond, and Howard, the Pies. I don't think they can. 5 to 6 weeks, I think what's the diagnosis. So it's either a semi or prelim final return. Like, I know Neil's probably the raging favourite for the Brownlow, but Harris Andews, the MVP easily of that list. They're playing Gardner, Starcevic, Leicester. I think Jackson Payne might get a go, and he got torched by Rewalt earlier this season. So,
or Eagles might come in, but again, they're not like nowhere near as good as Harris Andews. I don't think so either. I think I agree. Gardner would have to play above his weight division probably as well, because maybe they might have to throw McStay back.
Yeah, that's what I heard today as well. I think that's maybe an option because he's 194, I think 195, so he's got the.
Yeah, and Brisbane sort of they're not scoring. I saw a stat earlier, and they're not kicking enough goals. So it's their defense that's holding them up. And Harris Andews is like a major part of that defense. So if he's not there, they're going to get kicked. They're going to get some big scores kicked against them.
Yeah, I think the last 3 weeks they're down 20 points on offense. So it's a big worry. With Charlie Cameron's down as well this season. So that's a big impact. Yeah,
big challenge for Fagan. Maybe I'd if I were him, maybe put McStay back, and I'd play maybe Jared Berry as your third tall, because he's pretty big. It's like 194 centimeters.
You watched, and you got a bit of a early draft special.
Yeah, so on Saturday there was no footy. What'd you do? Like, our game was at night, but it was a pretty good day. So, it's unusual for a Saturday to be.
To have no footy. So I think it's the last one for the year, probably without any footy. But
and so I watched a bit of the WAFL, Perth West Swans District. So just on the laptop, live streaming it from the Channel 7 website.
Yeah.
And I watched it because there were 2 highly rated key position players playing in this game. So Denver Granger Barras, who's a backman, like that Jeremy McGovern type intercept marking, and Logan McDonaly, who was being compared to Tom Lynch, so that tall key forward. And they're both rated in the top 5. It was a pretty good game. I liked the commentary. They were pretty professional commentaries, a lot better than AFL.
Who was it?
Actually,
Was it ex-AFL players or was it?
normally Xavier Ellis commentates, and we've got a couple of other sort of commentators, but they actually talked about the game and what was happening, not just not summarizing their careers or speculating who's going to play next week, or just like, yeah. I don't want to. Yeah, I'm trying to say it cleanly, but you know how Bruce just blows a load every time someone does one of his special plays or something. Yeah, but these commentators actually talked about the game plan and that. But back to the 2 players. So McDonald kicked 3 goals, 1 before halftime, and then after that his team sort of got dominated by the other team. So Granger Barras was playing for the other team, and he sort of started off slow, but he took, I think, 8 intercept marks, and a few really good contested marks. So I think, McDonald, he might be in the conversation for pick 1.
Is he the leading goal kicker of the WAFL?
I don't know if he's that
said
now, but he was like a couple of weeks ago, and I wouldn't be surprised if he still is after. So that's pretty amazing for like a 17, 18-year-old. So, if he does go pick 1, do you reckon the Crows might pick him?
Yeah, I think I couldn't see the Crows not picking a key forward because they're absolutely crying out for one with Walker heading to the end. Fogarty's career is probably up in the air at the moment. So maybe do a trade with them.
They did get Fisher McAsey, who's a key position forward, and another guy last year. But I reckon they still need a key forward, and McDonald would be pretty good to bring up with those tools. So I think I would love if they do pass on him because I would jump at just to pair him up with Larky for the future. And if Granger Barras can slip to our Melbourne pick, which might be a pick around 10, then it could really, we could really have a good spine in the future.
And you got an update on some academy prospects as well?
This is just reading the forums. It just feels like for Port, Ted Schofield, he might be just slipping a little bit just due to his size. He's a good user of the ball. I think I told you last time, but apparently he's like a smaller type and he's not as quick. So he'll probably still get drafted, but it just might not be like a first rounder.
Yeah, I think he was one of the 97 invites to the combine or the camp, whatever they're doing in substitution. So I think it's slender looking at some pictures as well.
And but there's a guy called Lockie Jones who's like bolted the last few months. So he's he's one of your
academy.
Next gen academy. Yeah, there's a 185 centimeter half back flanker. So sounds like he's in the mold of that Darcy Burn-Jones sort of damaging kick out of defense sort of player. So, and he's played some senior footy as well.
Yeah, that's why I love their Sandful and WAFL recruits because even a Cornelio played in a WAFL grand final, kick 4 goals. Like those players, I think that's probably the best indication when they can step up to the seniors and play well and hold their own as well. Yeah,
that's why watching McDonald and Granger Barras was pretty good because they're playing against men. They're playing against guys like who's played AFL in the past. I think Caniglio's brother played for Perth or Swans District. So they're like 25, 30-year-old men. So it's good to see them playing against them. But I think Port's you guys have a couple of good years of academy father and son. So last year, this year, and next year. That's good. Finally, do you want to talk a bit about Port Bombers? Any predictions?
Yeah, it's probably another danger game. So obviously, top 2 spot on the line again. If we drop a game, essentially in the next 2, Pies
game, like a danger game, as in you might kill the Bombers players. You might actually.
danger goes if we lose. You don't
Yeah, danger game for Essendon. They might play in the amateurs for this.
Oh, it's because even the Dogs win yesterday against the Eagles. Like, there's a lot more on the line for the Pies in that last game as well. So that's probably going to be a bit of a tough one as well. Yes, but probably percentage booster. We think we need a percentage booster, so hopefully we can get that and get a bit of a gap. So I think we're -8 percentage points to the Cats, which might come in handy for that top 2 spot. So we'll have to you see, it's a 5:05 p.m. start, so it's a bit of a weird extra time as well in Adelaide at least.
Yeah. Can you rest any players for this game? Yeah, you might rest a few and then get them up for. But then if you rest now, then you have one game and you have a break and then five.
Yeah, I couldn't see us resting, especially I think the last few weeks you've had 6 or 7 day breaks. And like you said, we're going to get a week off after round 18 to the finals, so you don't want to break up the continuity anyway. And the Roos of Freo?
Yeah, Freo on Saturday. Yeah, so before your game, I think. We played West Coast last game, so this is our second last. So this is probably our last chance to win a game, and I could see us being competitive, and we could pinch this. So, like to see a bit of Shinburner spirit towards the end of the year. We normally win a game towards the end of the year as well. So, I think, we're a chance in this. I'd just like to see, some more kids come in, like maybe Marnie, Bonner, Cherry, if they're fit, get them in. But I think, Freo, they're a good team, and they've been pretty good all year. They've been a little bit down lately, but metric on, and I can see us winning. But I don't want to win by too much because I want that pick 2, hopefully.
Who's third bottom? Who's third bottom?
Oh, the team whose coach keeps on stirring the pot and criticizing Clarko.
I love pick 2.
What of Clarko's comments again about St Kilda and their game plan?
Yeah, he's having a shocking year. Like, I think Croft said that his belief is that Clarko's doing to take the heat off the team and put it on him, but you can't give him that much credit. He's just a sore loser. Like, he's the greatest coach of all time, but just a sore loser. Yeah,
that's probably what makes him the greatest coach of all time. But I think because what St Kilda do if they were playing that short chipping game, that's what Hawthorn they were good anyway. That was their game plan. It's like, what the hell?
You play the game like Hawthorn giving them the space, so you get 40 marks to 1 goal in that quarter. I mean, Saints kicked 80 points. Like, they didn't kick 40 points. They kicked, I think, 11 or 12 goals. So it's not 16-minute quarter. 16-minute quarter. That's pretty high scoring.
Yeah, and then he's comment about the draft was pretty annoying as well. It's like, so you say this now when your team's at the bottom and it impacts you. Like, it's been like that for like years. It was like that like 5 years ago when Heaney was picked at number 18 in the draft. So it's like, okay. It's just when he says it, it makes the headlines. That's the difference. Yeah, I think he's just got to probably shut up and just get his team going again. Yeah. All right, I think that's a wrap then. Any more issues? Not really, We'll probably have a bit more to dissect this week with 2 separate games. Yeah. Okay, All right, maybe till next time then. Yeah, good luck with pick 2. All right, I'm hoping Demons lose because they play Freo. So if Demons lose, we could get another top 10. Like, our Melbourne pick can be 4 or 5 spots better than it could have been. Yeah. Fingers crossed. All right. Catch you next week. See you guys.